Welcome back, friends. I'm Allie Lee.
I'm Jayla Sue.
Today we are going to have story time. I thought I would tell a story about a time I had in LA, since we're in LA. And next time, wherever we are, we'll tell a story about where we are. This is probably one of my favorite stories of all time. So, it includes our guy Harry here. Hey-o. So, I was shooting with Harry out here in the, what would you call it? I don't want to say the homeless community. We weren't shooting in the homeless community.
No, we're shooting at a reserve.
At a reserve?
Nature
Okay.
reserve, and just happens to have a little bit of a transient community throughout parts of it.
Okay.
But it's a big reserve, yeah.
Right, exactly. That's why I thought
You're
Harry
very,
did that
I know.
So, we were in this transient area, we were shooting. I had the flu so bad, I could not even function. By the end of this day, I was literally like, I'm crumbling to the ground. And we look down, I see my wallet is gone, okay? I'm supposed to fly home the next day, so I have no ID, I have no money, everything's fucked. And I'm shit out of luck. I'm like, fucking, I'm dead now. Like, this is my life now. And Harry, being this incredible, wonderful spiritual man, said, sit down right here. I'm gonna go look for your wallet. I got this. And I was like, oh my God, no he doesn't. But he did.
Was this the first time you met Harry?
No. Wasn't the first time we met, right? It was the first time we shot.
First time we shot.
Okay.
And
Right.
so I was already very impressed with the fact that this man's willing to go hunt down my wallet for me. You know, what kind of a person does that? A good person. So he tells me to sit down. I sit down. I'm having the flu. I feel absolutely awful. And Harry goes searching through the homeless community for hours and hours and hours on end. And he'd come back and check in on me. I'm okay. Okay, I gotta go this path. I gotta go this route. Don't worry, it's fine. Eventually, he comes back and he says, I put in word here. It's fine. It's gonna work out. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, it's absolutely not gonna work out. I don't know how I'm getting home. Oh, and it's maybe 3 a.m. in the morning now, and I'm sitting on a park.
You guys are still there at
3 a.m. Yes, 3 a.m.
Yeah, I mean, we've walked out of the park down towards the Target and then back up and
And you're just talking to anybody that you see.
well, I'd recognized some people that
You're so
had
close by
that I'd met before, well, at a
Okay.
different shoot, and
Yeah.
they had actually offered me something to drink. They're
Okay.
transient, they have nothing, but they have a cooler with some cold sodas, and they're like, would you like a soda? So
Yeah.
when I see them, I was like, hey, this is what happened. And they said, you know what, it's a pretty tight-knit community. They do not discourage thievery, and if someone steals, they get kicked out of the community. We'll figure it out. So we went and talked to the people that kind of like run the community, or kind of like oversee it, like help the leaders of the community.
Yeah.
And they say, we think we know who did it. We'll get back in touch with you. Give me a phone number. And I'm like, I didn't know, right? Like, I'm ignorant. I didn't know they had phones that work and
Right.
stuff, and
No,
they do.
I mean, how would
They
you know?
had cell phones, and so I went back and I told Allie, I'm like, they're gonna get it back for us. Like, they're literally gonna get it back for us.
I believed him because of the way he said it.
Yeah.
I 100% knew that we were gonna get it back
And that was
before,
what-
like from the beginning.
Yeah.
So I just knew, like, my
Yeah.
instinct. I was like, we're gonna get it back. Like, don't worry about it. It's gonna
Yeah.
turn up. I know it is. Have faith.
But what was really interesting about the fact that you knew that was because you knew that, you were willing to put in hours and hours and hours of effort to get to that point. You know, I mean, it wasn't going to just appear for
It
us.
was just gonna
You
appear.
had to go
No, but
seek it out.
Still gotta do the work, just like
So you
anything
had
else,
to
right?
follow an inner path of guidance in the direction of something that belonged to me, not to you. So, I mean, that's very powerful. And we get back to my hotel. I was able to go to sleep, thank goodness. And the next morning, Harry calls me and he says, I've got your wallet. I have it. Everything's fine.
Wow.
Everything's in it. And you can go home.
Everything was in it?
Everything was in it. All my cards, my ID, everything. So I gained a ton of respect for the transient community. I had respect for them before, but to know that they have a community somewhat underground that operates with such integrity,
Yeah.
and people out here in the actual world of society do not, it's very backwards. And it was so interesting to actually
It's a really
see
good
that
point.
and have that experience.
Yeah.
And really to watch Harry be in such a natural state. This is how he is, you know?
This is Harry, yes.
And he just followed that path.
Yeah.
So, Harry, how do you get that way? Are you just that way? Do you meditate? Do you Do you do conscious inner work?
I think like I'm definitely doing conscious inner work, but this started like when I was 18 and my mom, you know, she like is very spiritual and like, here's some books you should read. I think you should, never forced, like read these books. And me and my brother, I have a twin brother, and so we read one of the books is Celestine Prophecy and Conversations with God. And so it's just like learning to connect with energy and be open to the energy and see the energy around you and not compete for energy, right? Just be able to give it freely. And so, yeah, I felt, and my brother has had this same, you know, the same things. Like, we're like, oh, no, it's going to turn up. Just have faith and connect and tune in. And then let the synchronicities kind of guide you to where you need to be.
Yes. Have you read this book?
I have not, no.
Oh, okay. So, but do you read or
I
do you
do,
like?
yes.
Okay.
I like to read.
You have to do it. You have to.
Yeah,
listen to it.
absolutely.
Or listen to it like when you're flying or driving in your new car.
You know what? I don't mind it. You know what? I don't love a podcast. I don't like to listen to stuff, so I would rather read it.
Yeah.
But I definitely will check that one out. That sounds great.
Yeah, it's a really good one. Absolutely. And so what about you? So you got your wallet back, and through Harry, you were open to his intuitiveness.
Yeah, and it was
But faith in like believing.
right, and it was what was great about it is I operate in that same way, but I've not met that many people that can truly do that. And I think I got that way through meditating. I started all of that stuff when I was much younger. And again, I don't know a lot of people that started when they were younger. And Harry, you're 50s, so it's been a minute. You've been working on it for a while. Just don't mean to throw a boy under the bus there. But it was, for me, it was really eye-opening to see another human being be able to do that. And it helped me feel like, oh shit, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
I'm not alone.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you meditate? Do you do anything?
I don't sit down and meditate. Like for me,
That doesn't sound like you.
I don't sit still for very long. For me, movement is meditation. I have read that book, many books, and I do like to. I have like this intuitiveness and belief. It's more of like
you
a
do have
belief.
that natural
Yeah, I mean
quality
I
for
do.
sure.
It's just very much like. And I think I read that book when I was like 15 or 16, so quite young. And when you're opened up to just this path of being like everything's going to work out, it's going to be okay. And so I'm the eternal optimist. And so when something like happens like that, I mean, I would panic. Like I'd be freaking out, especially to catch a flight. But that also reminds me of when Harry lost his passport.
Oh, right.
And when he was in Miami and couldn't get back here right away. And somehow he got back. But, and he was so chill about it. Yeah, so there's something really important about being calm and believing in the good still in life. I think that's really truly what it is, because there's so much noise and terrible things that are going on in the world in general. But so when stuff like that happens, and your faith in humanity is restored again, and
That's
then
what it was for me,
then
yes.
you're connected with people that you're like, that's okay.
That's
so
the
these are
core
the people
person for me.
that I want to be around, because you can relate to how they operate, how they feel, and how they work. So it's just all part of the path. But it's definitely important to meditate and reflect on how things work in life, even if it's, you know, when bad shit's happened to me, I'm like, okay, well, what lesson?
Yeah, absolutely.
What
you have to
lesson
find
and-
a lesson in the bad
Yeah,
shit.
so, and
for
I'll
sure.
always look for the silver lining. And for me, meditation for many years was running. I ran a ton.
Dance is meditation for me.
Yes.
I will sit and actually meditate, because I like to really go into my mind and break down pieces, parts, and see how silent I can be and how much of an open space I can create, and then let what comes in come in.
Yeah.
But I also get a lot of that through dancing and also training. You know, what
same,
I've noticed
right?
about myself a lot lately is when I train, I have to stop and write down notes all through my training. And so when I should be taking an hour and a half, I'm taking 3 hours.
And that's okay, because it's the same for me. So it was running, paddleboarding, any kind of a movement, and that's when it's like, I was actually talking to somebody recently about this, but it's the way, like for me, it's like I'm compartmentalizing everything. It's like I feel like it's filing cabinets opening up in my brain, and it's like, okay, Jayla, we're gonna figure out how to process things that you're stressed about, worried about, and like everything's gonna be okay. And it's just a way of being like, okay, now I feel better because I did my physical activity, which was, you know, my meditation. I'm like, okay, now I've got this, I can tackle what's going to come next.
But the physical activity actually helps the connectivity
Yes.
of your mind, and it frees it to flow.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's how I feel when I dance too.
Yeah, that's
Very
been a
free.
huge part of my life and healing, and all the things that everyone goes through, because everyone has shit and baggage and
Shit, yeah.
but it's been a huge part of how I have moved forward in life, really.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
you do
it's
move
that
forward
growth.
very, very well. You're a very resilient person.
Yeah, you have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you get a lot of that from
It
meditating.
doesn't kill you, fucking keep going.
Fucking keep on
Keep going, man.
motherfucker. So that's our story time for today.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. We will have another story another time.
All right, thank you. Bye.